Time now for Focus, and today we have a report on the fighting in the Philippine city of Marawi, with the army saying militants linked to the Islamic State group should be defeated in the coming days. The clashes on the island of Mindanao started 4 months ago, killing and displacing civilians and leaving parts of the southern city in ruins. Jack Hewson sent us this report.
Shots at night and non-stop airstrikes in the day. The firefight is fiercer than ever as the Philippine army is making its final push through Marawi city. It took months to take the strongholds of ISIS-affiliated fighters. Now the military is occupying all the city's bridges in order to cut off the enemy's supplies. In the recently liberated neighbourhood of Mapandi, the bullet holes reveal the intensity of the street fighting. ISIS's name is left behind, scrawled almost everywhere.
Because the buildings here are close to each other, what they do is that they make holes between the buildings so that they could transfer from one building to another without going outside into the street.
Yet only 200 meters away, the soldiers have been tracking an invisible enemy with heavy weapons. House by house, clearing operations are ongoing among rubble and ash. Marawi has been the most challenging battle for the Philippine military in recent years, and also the deadliest. For a long time, the authorities have been downplaying the ISIS threat. Now Rodrigo Duterte's administration expects further attacks.
It will happen again and again and again. Well, I am sad that we are fighting and killing Filipinos. On our side also, I have lost so many soldiers. It is not a victory for anyone. When the time comes, when our task is done, we will pack our things and go home silently. I do not want any celebration. I said it's not a victory for the Philippines.
After this 4-month battle, some residents of the mostly Muslim city of Marawi are still missing. Nurjana Ibrahim says her cousin was left behind when Maute fighters attacked the city.
It's fate if my cousin is still alive. I hope that he will see his mother again. If not, I'll be sad because we grew up together. He's like my older brother. I can't really say anything because I haven't seen him for so long. But it's almost impossible for him to survive here on his own because he has a mental disorder. I do hope he's still alive, though.
Angel Dematoka, another refugee, defines himself as Muslim and gay.
I have the heart of a woman, but some Muslims don't like gay people.
Angel was able to deceive terrorist snipers thanks to his veil.
My gay friends gave me a veil so that the Islamic State group would not notice that I'm actually a man. I wore a veil as a disguise to look like a girl, so that IS would not kill me.
Once liberated, it will take time before the displaced residents are allowed to return home. Except mosques, only a few places have resumed their activities in Marawi. Occupied by Maute ISIS fighters at the beginning of the siege, this hospital reopened to accommodate civilians. Here, both Christians and Muslims still work together.
Just some sort of a close understanding between the hospital employees, even though there are differences in religion. We only have one common goal: to take care of our patients.
Now a ghost town, except for stray dogs and patrols, it will take time to heal the city's wounds. For now, the locals have to comply with security controls all over the southern Philippines. Arrest warrants are displayed at every checkpoint for the Maute group members who plan the taking of Marawi. But security restrictions have also been a growing source of resentment against government troops. Both are accused of destroying the city. Ked claims to be a distant relative of the Mautes. He says violence may spread among family clans after the town's liberation.
I've known the Maute since they were young boys. We were part of the same group, so we were very close. Of course, people are angry at the Maute and the government as they've bombed houses. Why did they turn Marawi to dust? People will seek revenge.
The Philippine army aims to liberate Marawi city in the coming days.
For more on this, I'm now joined in the studio by Thierry Aube. He's a Southeast Asia expert who's a consultant for the Centre for International Studies and Research and also for UNESCO. Hello, thank you very much indeed for coming in. First of all, why is it that this battle in Marawi has lasted for so long, more than 4 months now?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that at the beginning, the army already said that it was a matter of days. I mean, 4 months ago. So the job has been much more difficult to carry out than expected. Okay, and that is highly telling of the situation, and that also shows that the army was not prepared for urban warfare, to street slow progress among the rubble and the bodies, and it was not prepared for that because training was badly lacking from a very long time ago, and so it. What has to be said also is that we entered right away into a situation of urban warfare, and that tells us that political solutions had not been explored sufficiently before the conflict erupted. And that's one of the main things I would like to stress.
Now, the military says it's just a matter of days before the city is fully liberated. But as you mentioned, they've got their timings wrong before in the past and misunderstood the situation, or at least underestimated just how hard it might be. But let's say it does end in a few days. As we saw in the report, there are parts of the city completely in ruins. And we heard someone towards the end of our report say that people will seek revenge for the destruction in the city. Do you think that will really be the case? And has the army had a disproportionate response, or is it just because of the nature of the fighting, like you say, this urban warfare necessarily leads to widespread destruction?
Well, one of the aspects of the lack of preparation of the army is precisely, to have resorted to aerial bombing and with a lot of casualties. So it's understandable that many people are resentful about what has happened. But I mean, the legacy of this war will go much beyond beyond the aspect that you just mentioned. It's about what is going to happen in Mindanao and in the Philippines after this war, generally speaking, not only in terms of revenge, as you say.
What do you think will happen?
There are signs, very recent signs, that a political solution is being explored. Last month, there was an agreement between the government and MILF to discuss about political solutions and to go back to the solution that was already wrapped up a few years ago, but was discarded because of, notably because of the method to which the president used. He didn't want to. He right away, engaged in a bravado attitude. And
so this is Rodrigo Duterte being the tough guy when he didn't necessarily have to do this.
Well, it is going to have far-reaching consequences, in my opinion, at least, because this is time lost. This is a danger for all the Philippines. Because what is at stake, in fact, is the kind of governance of the country and of the region that is being manifested through what has happened in the last days, in the last month, I would say.
Okay, I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thank you very much indeed, though, for your time, Thierry Aube. Thank you.